It's unfulfilled and untapped talent, and the loss to Rolly Romero tells you that. So what has Gervonta Davis created, aside from being a manufactured creation that got a big push from Floyd Mayweather? Let's be honest here. A big push from Floyd Mayweather. And then after that, let's match him very carefully, because what do? We wanted to do the same thing with Adrian Broner, who had the balls to fight everybody. Say what you will about Adrian Broner. Had the balls to fight everybody. Didn't duck a single fight. And they said, you know what? We wanted to do this with Adrian Broner. We wanted to just manufacture a star before he was made into a star. And we kind of messed up by matching him too tough. So the pendulum swung in the complete opposite direction here. It's not like you balanced it out. You went in the complete opposite direction and made this guy fight absolutely nobody constantly. And let me tell you something about the Lamont Roach fight. He's a 16-1 underdog going into the fight because they knew they didn't want to fight anybody who was a risk. There's a reason he's ducking the Lamont Roach rematch now. Because now you realize, wow, this guy is a threat. Whoa, I don't want anything near him. I've stayed away from guys like this my whole career. What, am I going to start fighting them now? They've given me free money my whole career to get away from the threats. I'm going to start fighting them now? Hell no. This guy was good. I don't want nothing to do with him. Let's go with the Jake Paul route, which is, again, mostly win-win for him. It's more win-win for Jake, but it's mostly win-win for him.
Right. So what does Gervonta Davis?
Hold on. I got to respond.
That's what I want, Chris. Go ahead.
I didn't even get to talk.
Please.
So what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you can talk about that shoe fight and that shoe. They're not boxing fans. Gervonta Davis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans. And he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed. Desperately needed in this day and age.
They marketed him that way. You can market anybody. You can market it that way. You can market it that way. And champ, you should know better, because you and I were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't even want to use the word manufactured, because Ray Leonard actually was legit.
Great fighter.
But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way, class, could speak, mature, poised, could fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing only? Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this, because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things. Why are you not marketing guys like Shakur Stevenson more? Why are you marketing this guy who doesn't want any of the smoke? Shakur has wanted all the smoke. This guy doesn't want any of the smoke. Even if the smoke is over there, not only does he not go in the room, he doesn't even want to be near it. You know what I mean? So, and then God forbid he accidentally enters the room where there was smoke he didn't expect, like the Lamont Roach fight. He's running out of there. He's taking knees and everything. So what are we doing here? This does nothing for the sport. Ultimately, it's not really a personal thing against these kind of people, these kind of individuals. It's what it does for the sport, or what it does against the sport. It hurts the sport, man. You keep manufacturing these people in people's living rooms. You're just pre-choosing them. I don't know if there's some kind of off-the-wall ritual in the background that some people are agreeing to do certain things in exchange for certain amounts of fame. I really don't know anymore, bro. I've gone into the conspiracy realm at this point in my life way more than this, but at this point, I don't even know it, bro. What makes you decide we're going to make this guy a star and this guy no? What makes you decide at this point when both can fight? Because you give that career arc, that career resume to Shakur Stevenson the same as you did to Gervonta Davis. Shakur would have beat every single one of the opponents that Gervonta has beaten, but much easier, much less competitively.
Chris?
Therein lies the problem. So one thing I'm going to say is Paulie's not going to say no Diddy in terms of the conspiracy that's going on. But in terms of, you mentioned those fantastic guys who are classy as hell, Andre Ward, Shakur Stevenson, Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what the difference is, Paulie? Knockouts, dude. Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture knockouts.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one.
So Paulie and Chris Algieri and them was having a conversation about Gervonta Davis and why he's so popular. And when I first heard it, I kind of agreed with Paulie. But on Coach Show, I heard him play it. And then I listened to it again. You know, I'm kind of like, I kind of agree with Chris Algieri too. So talking about the marketability of fighters, or just in general, like let's talk about on a larger spectrum first. Like with Caitlin Clark, you had this other girl, Paige. She went to UConn. She scored 44 points the other night, and it was a rookie record in WNBA. And it was like they didn't lead the show off with that. But if Caitlin Clark would have did it, so you always got to get to the root of why, right? I haven't seen much of Paige. I'm pretty sure she's more the fundamental type. We look at Caitlin Clark. Because then they say, well, you have some people say, well, she's only popular because she's white. But if that's the case, you have Sabrina. I can't remember her last name. You got Paige Buckner. I think that's her name. You have all these different, white girls. Diana Taurasi, they haven't been able to do what Caitlin Clark done as far as pageantry. So obviously it's not a color. It's not just, if it is, or it's not just a color thing. I believe it's the way she plays the game. She plays the game like some of the guards today, a Cam Thomas, a Steph Curry, a Kyrie Irving, kind of this free, step back. You come see what I'm saying? People just gravitated towards her and the media got behind her. The people in somewhat the media picks who's popular. Now the media, they have a lot of control, but still the people ordain who's the popular person. You know what I'm saying? And the media, they can suppress it or they can take it to the next level. They can kind of regulate it. And him saying, well, they only want to promote hood, ghetto, the worst of the worst, right? They don't want to promote good, clean people. And he referenced back to Sugar Ray Leonard, which, yes, Ray Leonard, obviously, Ray Leonard, Tiger Woods, clean image guys. Michael Jordan was another, people thought they was clean image guys just on the surface. So we have seen, even though Tiger Woods don't agree with it, black athletes be clean cut and still be celebrated. I mean, LeBron, for the most part, I mean, I guess because of the tattoos, some people may say something, but for the most part, LeBron wasn't hood or gangster. LeBron is a very, refined individual. He defeated all the odds. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really look at LeBron like an Adrian Broner or an Allen Iverson or, Randy Moss. He was another guy that came from Virginia. People don't really like Randy. Kind of tipped that line, but they do like to promote the worst of us. I mean, I always say females push the culture. I'm not trying to be all over the place. They push the culture. When we start getting interested in women, we start doing things to get women clothes, swag, slang, whatever that may be. And amongst different cultures, that could be different. But in the black community, it is seen that the worst of us is really what the women go for. Now, we have these conversations all the time on Free Game 89. The links in the description. You want to check that channel out. And that's pretty fucking accurate. Only when women get older and get out of their prime and they become a used GameStop game do they want the Russell Wilsons and the refined guys. And a lot of times they get those guys to be the husbands and raise their children and still fuck around with the futures. We all know that. We've seen the internet, and a lot of us, or some of us, I hope not a lot of us, been through that. Okay? So we can't just say, because Al Heyman is a black man, that, the white man always want to just put, this is what they want to push forward. We don't put Ben Carson be recording and stuff, but the Ben Carsons, or we don't put the the Myron Rose, who's going to Rose Scholar. We don't put those type of guys on a pedestal. You know, we don't put our biggest and brightest guy, who's a guy that retired from the NFL to be a farmer and to give back. We don't put those people on the pedestal like that. You know, we put our entertainers, our rappers and all, especially the rappers, since we put them on the pedestal. And I think, with, hip hop being at the forefront of the black community, that's what we shoot for. Athletes trying to be like rappers. Come on, this is the same beat every day. Go on. The hip hop is just the standard. So we all, strive to dress like that and act like, and that's what the girls want. So that's what the culture push. So yes, to a certain point where Paulie is right that they push Tank because he has that hood swagger. But on the other side, I think largely Chris Algieri's right. His ability to knock people out is why he gets knockouts. He gets knockouts. Now you could say, well, Wilder knocked a lot of people out and he didn't get to that point. And Wilder was known for knocking guys out in the street. But maybe it was because Wilder didn't look refined enough. Triple G got a lot of knockouts, and maybe because he wasn't American. Crawford gets a lot of knockouts, and everything that Gervonta portrayed, they portray. I'm not saying he portrayed to be. I will say that he portrays to be. Crawford is. Crawford is everything that he portrays to be. Had some, was a hood guy, was, it was well documented, was doing some things like that. But the difference is, getting back to my other side of the argument, the media has to take the next level. Okay, we ordained this guy. Now the media got to take it off. And the media, Terrence Crawford wasn't supposed to be where he's supposed to be. He fought the media. Had the media got behind Terrence Crawford, he'd be bigger than Canelo Alvarez. Just simple as that. He'd be bigger than Canelo Alvarez. So, Paulie's right. Chris Algieri's right. But I will lean more towards Chris Algieri a little bit more because you got to get the knockouts. And I think the way Tank knocks people out in spectacular fashion, without Mike Tyson getting the knockouts, is Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson? If he going the distance, no. So, no. But honestly, they both kind of right. But just my opinion on it. In my opinion, I think they both kind of, but I think it's without the knockouts, Tank ain't where he is. Without the Mayweather cosign, Tank ain't where he is. So, that is the honest truth. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and the subscribe button. It's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Peace.